Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. You know that I was going to talk about this more. Texas Roadhouse. I have never been there to eat before. I've wanted food from there, but now I don't really think so. They are under fire because there was a viral post of a white supremacist who alleged that they were in a group with over 400,000 other white people, maybe Hispanic, but mainly white, who said that they were spitting in black people's food because of the whole thing with Carmelo Anthony and just being racist, and that the cooks are allegedly in on it as well. So, I want to share some videos of what people are saying about it. Now, there are some black people who are still going to Texas Roadhouse and said that they don't believe this and that they're not going to let this hoax stop them from going from somewhere that they like to eat. There are black people who are saying you need to eat at home, that this is not just Texas Roadhouse, it's other restaurants as well. You don't know for sure unless you get the food tested. So, Texas Roadhouse has released a statement. Okay, they said this. They said, as you can see on the right, the post alleging the targeting of diners and food tampering has been proven to be an online hoax. Our third party online forensics firm, as well as multiple credible online publications, have confirmed this is a baseless rumor. We love our communities and we remain committed to providing the legendary food, legendary service, to each and every guest that we serve. Baby, how do you feel about this? Look, I've never been there, but I believe that this could be happening, and I believe that it could be happening in other restaurants. People will tell you that if you're rude to your waiter or waitress, sometimes they might do something. You just don't know. So let me show you what the public is saying about this.
I just want to say this. Since y'all Texas Roadhouse and Logan's and I don't know who all else ain't doing it, but I'm going to say this right here. Since y'all licking y'all fingers and y'all touching people's food and spitting in people's food and stuff like that, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a person that eat out. I just ate out at Outback. Me and my boyfriend, we had the chopped steak and double loaded mashed potatoes and broccoli. I had that. And he had the loaded mashed potatoes, double serving. But since y'all licking y'all fingers, I don't know who to exonerate and who to implicate. So I'm gonna say this right here. Since y'all doing that, I'm gonna be eating at home. I'm gonna be eating at home. I'm gonna fix my own food. I need to know if anybody could tell me in the comments where I can get something that simulates chopped steak, because I got a Blackstone grill. I can eat at home. I got everything you could think of. I got an air fryer. I got all of the things. Okay, crock pots, Instant Pots. I got all other things. And since y'all is doing this kind of stuff, I knew my stomach was feeling bad for some. But since y'all doing this kind of stuff, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be eating at home. I'm gonna be eating at home. And any of y'all at the sound of my voice can hear this, I will stay at home. And I wouldn't eat out, because the best way to get these folks is to not patronize them. And if anybody can be a cautionary tale, the infamous Target, i.e. Target, can tell you, we can hurt you in the pocket. We can hurt you in the pocket. And I know some of y'all still slipping up in the Target, and that's y'all's little red wagon. But for me and mine, we finna start eating at home, because y'all really play too much. Y'all really play too much, and I ain't got time. Because one thing about me is I am totally, really, really a person who, when my stomach ain't right, baby, I'm really disabled and disarmed. So I ain't gonna be able to mess with y'all, because y'all doing some trifling shit. And I just had to cuss and say that. Y'all doing trifling shit, and I'm gonna be done. Okay? So I just came to say that. Texas Roadhouse, Logan's, Longhorn, all of y'all, Outback, this gonna be y'all warning. I won't be fooling with y'all no more. I'm gonna be cooking at the house, because if it's 400,000 1,000 of y'all doing a lot, and that's all I need to know. All right, thank you.
Black people beware, because what Texas Roadhouse and Logan's Roadhouse is allegedly doing to black patrons' food is sick as fuck. If you're black and you eat at Texas Roadhouse or Logan's, you're gonna want to hear this. So there's a racist group that's called White and Proud on Facebook that's full of a lot of white people that don't like black people. Well, someone named Nancy Smith posted this, and it's talking about how the servers and the cooks are spitting and contaminating the food of black people that go into Texas Roadhouse. She's basically saying that they have came up with a group within these restaurants where they are servers for white patrons only, and that they target black people, spitting in their food, putting objects in their food. When black customers come in and place their orders, they go to the back, get their food. Said that there is a blind spot in the kitchen, and that's where they spit in the food and contaminate the food right before they bring the food out to serve to the black diners. Watch those dinner rolls, because the dinner rolls, they're licking and spitting on the dinner rolls too. And here is the picture of the lady that posted it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't doubt that this is true. Now, this is being posted everywhere, so if this is actually true, Texas Roadhouse, y'all have a problem on your hand. Who does shit like this? This is absolutely disgusting. Black people, this is just a warning to stay safe and be careful where you're eating. It's crazy that I even have to say that.
Texas Roadhouse, come on down. You the next contestant on. Y'all finna fuck around and find out. Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about ignorance, y'all. For it to have a group going around saying that, certain employees at certain Texas Roadhouses will be spitting in black people's food and making sure that their food doesn't come out the kitchen onto their table the way that it should come out the kitchen and come on the table. Why are we the most hated? We ain't did nothing, y'all. We ain't did shit. But now y'all want to play with our food, and then it's a Caucasian group on Facebook that's choosing to say that they want to food with our food at Texas Roadhouse. Keep in mind, the black dollar is powerful. And most black people can whip up what y'all got going on at Texas Roadhouse at the house. What we go up in there for is them damn rolls. We love them rolls and that cinnamon butter that goes on them. That's what we be going off up in there for. But we'll figure out how to make them rolls and that cinnamon butter at the house before we sit up there and let anybody attempt to play with anything that we have to consume, baby. You ought to know. In the African American community, I speak for all of us when I say we don't play about our damn food. We never have and we never will. That's why a lot of us kind of look like me, a little bit on the fluffy side, because we have never played about our food and we will never play behind our food, baby. So Texas Roadhouse gonna have to clean this up, and really, really fast, because a lot of people gonna stay their ass at home and stay away from Texas Roadhouse. And again, when you take the black dollar out these restaurants and stores and everything else, they're highly affected. Yeah. But that means that our community needs to step on up, baby. Start making some food like Texas Roadhouse makes on days that people don't want to cook. You can shop black on. You can go get some of your own people food, and you ain't got to worry about having no extra saliva or extra things floating up in your food because they don't like you simply because you was born a different skin color than they was. Sad to say, but that's what it's coming to. More cooking at the house or shopping with your own people, because they around here trying to put extra fluids in your food. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea with Auntie. Bye, y'all. It's sad. Yes, it's sad, but that's what's happening in 2026.
A racist group chat of over 400,000 servers has been plotting to spit in people of color's food, with Facebook user Nancy Smith leaking to public group chat. If you want to look it up, it's right here. Hope you enjoy your next meal next time you eat out. There's a Facebook group that I am a part of, and it is for white servers. We have come up with a plan. When a table of black diners comes in and places their order, we will walk back to the kitchen, get your food ready. There was always a blind spot in the kitchen, and we are licking our fingers and touching your food. Nancy Smith also claims that the cooks are in on it. However, her numbers don't really add up, and I think she may be exaggerating just a bit. However, this story started to gain even more traction after Texas Roadhouse allegedly responded to Nancy Smith's racist statement. with social media users spreading this around. However, I haven't seen this on any Texas Roadhouse social media whatsoever. And with that little blind spot, there's a couple of other caveats I need to mention. The original group chat that this racist tirade was posted to only has 60,000 members, not 400,000. The claims from Nancy Smith have not been verified, and Texas Roadhouse has not verifiably responded to this internet outrage. But this story does go so much deeper, so if you want a part 2, let me know, and share this video to help spread the word, and follow me to stay in the loop.
There's certain restaurants that I just don't rock with anyway because they just look sketchy. If it's given too much hillbilly-ish, if it's giving just rusty, crusty, dusty, musty, I'm just not rocking with it anyway. You know, I try to make 2 videos before this, but I guess there's certain things that I can't say when it comes to this 400,000 group that's, you know, saying that they're gonna tamper with BLK folks' food. I think hopefully I'm allowed to say that. You know, hopefully this won't be the next video that gets flagged. But I don't trust too many people with my food anyway. I have been trying to tell Black people, especially a lot of even my friends and stuff, like, you got to watch how you talk to your server. You, like, anybody who's preparing your food, you just got to be extra careful because they be doing stuff to people's food. Like, even outside of the whole race thing, right? Outside of them just doing it because it's Black folks, they get pissed off at you. They don't like something that you say. Like, don't go back and forth arguing with these folks. At least, and if you gonna argue with somebody, you gonna have to do it. Wait until after you get your food. We need to really just start patronizing our own restaurants for real. Because it's just too much going on. Too many people that don't like us. And I'm not trying to have to fight everywhere I go.
Former Texas Roadhouse servers are coming to the internet and telling their story after they were written up for mentioning racist seating arrangements. They called these areas color sections, and they would often be back by the bathrooms or back by the kitchen. Now, personally, I've only been to Texas Roadhouse a handful of times, so I can't recall, but I can recall this happening at multiple other restaurants. There's been a few times where I've walked into a restaurant. The one time I'm thinking of right now is a Denny's. I walked into a Denny's and I looked around, and it was literally white people on one side and Black people on one side. And I was like, did they do this on purpose? And then another time, I remember I walked into an Applebee's and it was the same way. It was white people on this side and Black people on this side. And I know people don't seat themselves in these type of restaurants. So clearly something is going on, and I'm sure the employees, the people that work there, would know best. But I see why they wouldn't speak up, because a lot of those people that work those type of jobs, they need their jobs. They can't risk their job trying to call something out. A few brave ones did, but at the end of the day, it needs to be called out. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever walked into a restaurant and clearly seen that it was segregated.
This Texas Roadhouse situation is so scary to me because you really don't know what people are doing with your food before you get to it. Before it gets to you. I used to have a friend I went to high school with, and then we worked together for a while together, and she used to work at Buffalo Wild Wings, and she told me that if a table was rude, they would give them the Buffalo Wild Wings special, which would mean that they would do stuff to your food. They would put it in the dishwater first, and then take it out and cook it, and then give it to you, or like all kinds of heinous things. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And she's like, no, that's what happens. You got to be careful. You know, that's where the whole like premise of you got to be nice to your waiter because they're going to spit in your food. My mom is from the South, so she was always big on you never eat at anybody's house, or be very careful whose house you're eating at. Eat before you go. And to this day, my mom still does not like going out to eat. She'd rather cook her own food, because she'll say, like, you don't know what they're doing to your food back there. You don't know what they're putting in it. And I would always say to her, Mom, well, you don't know what the butcher's doing in the back either. And she's like, I don't care. I know once it gets to me what I'm doing with it. And I feel like sometimes the only recourse you have is to maybe pray over your food. But I think it is kind of scary that in a day and age of DoorDash, you don't know what the driver's doing. It's just scary how many people have access to things that you don't know about.
I told my husband to stop eating in them people's establishment a long time ago. We went to Hot Springs because He's the president of the union. And so we went for a convention. I look a mess because I've been cleaning up all day. But we went for a convention, and we were in Hot Springs, and I was warned about the atmosphere in Hot Springs. I ain't never just kicked it in Hot Springs. I've always went there and, you know, did like kiddie stuff and then come on. But anyways, went to Texas Roadhouse. When we got in there, it was none of us. And then when we were leaving, we seen like a sprinkle of us. And I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable immediately if I don't see us in there. And I kept telling him, let's get the fuck out of here. We need to get, this is not our domain, baby. We need to get to somebody's soul food restaurant, McDonald's or something, because I don't like the energy in here. And they were super fucking happy. That's how they're going to get y'all asses. Y'all going to go in there assuming that they're not these people. They seem pretty decent. They're going to be smiling in your faces to get that tip money. All the while, licking and spitting and shit in your food. Catch myself saying this at least twice a day. Or, I'll be honest, twice a week. I think about it often, though. Some of these people are trying to forcefully move us back into the white-only stage. I've seen ample amount of videos that validates this, where people are going to their local coffee shops that they've been going to for years. Now, all of a sudden, that coffee shop has tuned into Fox News and this administration and its bullshit, and they want to double charge the black person. And if you choose not to pay that, they're telling you flat out they don't want you at their establishment. These were the same people that was trying to convince us that Coleman, Alabama was not racist, that all people were welcome around Christmas time. Remember? These are the people that has tried to convince you that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not on that BS no more, even though she has not denounced a damn thing that she's ever done. I can't stand that woman, because she coming online acting like she got the Krabby Patty formula, when, honey, we know that you started this mess. Nevertheless, they're spitting in your food, but they've been doing it. Just like they've been hanging black people and blaming it on mental health or blaming it on suicide. I just want to know, once and when we adapt to this change, because it's coming, right? We're going to see the signs real soon. When we all collectively get it in our soul and our being that y'all don't want us here, and we start patronizing black-owned businesses, and they begin to boom, will y'all start that same bullshit? You know, bombing school, redlining, which that's never went away. You know, the whole bullshit that they like to do. I just want to know, how would they feel? Because y'all keep fucking with us, and we ain't did shit to y'all.
To me, after reading both of Texas Roadhouse's responses on TikTok surrounding these like allegations around the restaurant employees discussing spitting and contaminating in the food of black customers, I think the company is treating this like an allegation crisis when to me it should be a perception crisis. So let's forget the screenshot right now for a moment, right? The thing that should have every executive, to me, of Texas Roadhouse paying attention to right now is a number that's attached to the story. From what I've seen, there was over 400,000 people that responded to this and what they've done when it comes to black people going to this restaurant. And when a controversy involving alleged food contamination, race, and customer treatment is connected to a community that large and immediately takes off on TikTok, to me, this starts by being about a post. It starts about being about a screenshot. It becomes a test of trust. And after reading both of these responses, I think the company is treating this like an allegation crisis when it actually should be about perception, or what people think about Texas Roadhouse to begin with. Now, let's be clear, right? Texas Roadhouse has already denied the allegations, and they've called them like unfounded. They say it's not true. It says they're investigating like most companies would do, right? The facts are still being determined, but from a PR perspective, as someone that works in PR and crisis, the question I'm asking isn't whether the allegation is true or false. The question I'm asking is, why do so many people find this believable, right? Because a company's biggest reputation threat isn't always what some people know. Sometimes it's what people are willing to believe. And the moment this story hit on TikTok, it already became much bigger than the original allegation within itself. People start talking about the trust, the culture of the company, and their own experiences. And for many black people, let's be honest, right? Let's have a real conversation. Conversations about discrimination in restaurants are not new, especially being African American. Stories about feeling unwelcome, receiving different levels of service compared to other people, being ignored, stereotypes, or questioning whether they were treated fairly have been and existed for years. We already know that, right? And that's not a statement about Texas Roadhouse specifically, but it is a statement of the reality of a broader hospitality industry of how black people or people of color are treated. So when a story like this, to me, starts trending, many people aren't evaluating on a blank slate. They're evaluating it through experiences they've had themselves or stories that they've heard from family, friends, people that they know, right? And that's why, to me, this spread so quickly, because it didn't create concern. It reinforced concerns that have already existed when it comes to the black experiences going in the dining industry, right? And that's where I think that Texas Roadhouse missed a major opportunity with this, because the company responded twice in one day. We all know they're frantic at this point because people are going off on threads and on social media. They're going off and they made 2 responses already, and the credit should be given to responding quickly. They did respond quickly, but both responses to me felt focused on denying the allegation rather than addressing the larger conversation happening around it, right? What I didn't hear was empathy, and what I didn't hear was leadership. What I didn't really see was an acknowledgement of why people were disturbed in the first place. Personally, I think this called really for a CEO to respond or have a video statement and not another written graphic or post on TikTok. You already know I hate when people do these TikTok posts. When trust is the issue, the CEO becomes a spokesperson. And I would have rather hear we understand why people are concerned, we understand why customers want answers, and we're conducting a thorough investigation, and we're also evaluating our culture. I would be looking at all those people that say they're employees, because there's a culture issue here, right? Let's be completely honest. Because whether these allegations are ultimately true or false, leadership should be asking a bigger question. What does it say about our culture that so many people found this believable, right? There should be a review of the culture, the training, the employee conduct expectations, and more so your employees. Like, who are you hiring to come into this company or continuing to come into this company with this mindset they should be doing that or think it's okay to do that, right? A crisis isn't created when people see an allegation, right? A crisis to me is created when people see an allegation and they immediately believe it. This TikTok trend will not stop trending, right? The investigation will eventually end, but what customers remember is whether a company earned their trust when it mattered the most. And right now, Texas Roadhouse to me isn't fighting a screenshot. They're fighting doubt.
Apparently, there's a group chat full of 400,000 racist white people, white servers apparently, from Texas Roadhouse and the Logan's restaurant. So what they're trying to do is if someone black comes into one of their restaurants, they will take their order, the servers will take their order, they will make the food in the back, and the people in the back will spit in their food, they will lick their fingers and put it all over the food, but only to black people. So yeah, that is pretty disturbing, and Texas Roadhouse on TikTok did respond to this. You know, the typical corporate response of like, they are committed to treating every customer with respect, that there is no discrimination or no one is treated unfairly, you know, things like that. Then they made another response saying that they found the reports unfounding or something, but they're still investigating. But this is the post from either the page or it was just posted somewhere on Facebook, and the person responding is a real person. I found their profile, so this is a real person responding to this post. Now, personally, I don't believe it's 400,000 servers between Texas Roadhouse and Logan in this group. I do, however, believe that there are around 400,000 racist people, or maybe it's not even 400,000. I just don't think it's all just servers. I think it's just a group of racist people. All I can say for us black folk is do not eat at Texas Roadhouse, do not eat at Logan's. And I normally don't say don't eat at a place. I don't advocate for that, but for this, until this investigation is completed or the right people are fired, just don't eat at these places. Y'all stay aware and stay safe.
I didn't even know this was taking place, but Texas Roadhouse lost their verification checkmark right here on this platform. And they released a statement, and I'm going to tell you why. So this is the statement they released. I'll let you pause to read. They also released this statement. I'll let you pause to read it. So Texas Roadhouse is facing a lot of backlash, and I don't even know if it's due to any fault of their own. I really don't know the context behind it. What I can tell you is that you can pause to read this, and this is why they are facing backlash. I will not read it, but you can pause to read it. So that post came from a Facebook group, and this Facebook group is all white people. It's a white and proud group. I'm just going to be honest. That's what the group was called. But somebody made the group public at some point. And when it went public, a bunch of black people and people of color basically infiltrated the group, basically. And it happened weeks ago, but since then, they have been going back and forth in that group, racist against black people, racist against people of color, because they feel like their group is taken over and they've made a new group. But somebody in the group decided to post that statement saying that they've worked for Texas Roadhouse, and there's just a known fact amongst people, white racists who work at Texas Roadhouse, that when a black table orders food from them, they purposefully sabotage their food. They purposefully compromise their food. That's the word I was looking for. A lot of people have stated, and there's videos on here of people who've had bad experiences at Texas Roadhouse, people of color, black people. And I don't know how that video got away from Texas Roadhouse and this one got their attention, but because of that, they've lost their check mark and they are trying to quote unquote make things right. They said that their hospitality is unreasonably crazy when it comes to people of color and black people. I don't know, Texas Roadhouse. I don't eat at Texas Roadhouse. I don't even remember a time eating at Texas Roadhouse. We have one here, but I never go there. I don't know. I don't think the statement's going to be strong enough. I don't think your argument's going to be strong enough. You might need to do some internal investigations, and this should have been the case to begin with.
It was never safe for us to eat out anyway. And now that we see Texas Roadhouse being under fire for their employees coming out in a group chat on Facebook, or a group on Facebook talking about how if they see black diners come in, they spit in their food, they lick their fingers and put it in their food, and them not telling us what it is the cooks do. But this is something we should have been known, because I want y'all to understand. Yes, this is horrible. This is biological warfare. This is terrorism, domestic terrorism at its finest. But I also need y'all to understand that it was already an issue anytime you go out to eat anywhere, because hygiene and lack thereof comes into play. Believe me, I worked in fast food for a long time. I was the assistant GM for multiple different restaurants, and I know how people's hygiene is lacking. So that, coupled on top of the fact that we have to deal with anti-blackness, and you may be having somebody serving you or somebody making your food that just don't like you because of the way you look, that's always a risk we take. If that food is not prepared by us, if we don't see ourselves making that food, if we don't see somebody like us, we're taking a really big risk. And I can't tell you how many times I've ended up sick. Lots of people get food poisoning from going out to eat. It's not just oopsie daisies or a once-off thing. But I thought this was already a known thing, that we don't eat it if we didn't see you cook it. The same way that we say that we don't eat other people's food, we don't eat other people's cooking when they bring the potluck or whatever the case is, that same thing should apply to going out to eat, because these people don't fuck with us for real, and will go as far as announcing to the world that they are spitting in our food because of the color of our skin.
You know, this is just a damn shame. And personally, look, I didn't see the group. I don't know what group this is. I don't know if it's true. I don't know, but I think that it possibly really could be true. It could be. And I have seen so many people upset. I've also seen some people celebrating it who are racist, the tampering with our food and everything. And you just don't know if it's safe. And again, I don't believe that it could only be Texas Roadhouse. It can be anywhere, and it could be other groups of people that also don't like black people. So I don't know. Unless you get your food tested by a Four Settings group and all that other stuff to see if it's spit or something on your food, you honestly just don't know. You're taking a risk anytime you go out to eat, period, because you're not the one cooking the food. And some people will cook at home, but sometimes other people, they want to eat out. They don't feel like cooking. And you're taking a risk anytime you go out. And I was just disgusted with what I saw regarding this. I was disgusted seeing people celebrating this, thinking that it's funny. I'm laughing about it and saying all types of racist jokes. And I also saw black people who said that they're going to continue to go to Texas Roadhouse and that they don't even believe that this is true. You're just taking a risk. I don't know for sure, but I do want to know, what do you all think about this? Have you ever been to Texas Roadhouse or Logan's? Will you ever go back again? How do you feel about this? Do you think that this was true, or was this some made up hoax to you? And do you feel kind of iffy about going to any kind of place to eat out? What are your thoughts? And people are saying go to a black owned business. I totally support going to a black owned restaurant. Unfortunately, some of us live where some of us live, there are no black owned restaurants. There's none where I live at large. And that's a damn shame. And don't think that some of them also can't do nothing to your food. You're ignorant if you think that. But I understand, usually more than likely they're not going to tamper with your food. Oh Lord, this is just horrible. The whole doggone thing is just horrible, and it's scary. You just don't know what's going on with your food. And I want to know, what do you all think about this? Let us know in the comments section, okay? You all take care.